Hello and welcome to my podcast, Haunt Around the World, where we talk about haunted houses around the world. I'm Brooklyn Schroeder, and today we are going to be talking about Exit 13 Haunted Attraction in Mount Morris, Michigan. Exit 13 is one of the biggest haunted attractions in the world. Inside the haunted house, they are allowed to touch you and carry you into different scenes they have to give you a fun thrill. And today we have Brianna Cody here, who has been in Exit 13, and we are going to be asking her some questions about the attraction. Brianna, would you like to introduce yourself really quick?
Yeah, sure. My name is Brianna Cody. I'm Brooklyn's aunt. I'm 15, and I go to Arthur Hill High School, and I've been to Exit 13 before.
Thank you. So, Brianna, what are some of the scenes that you saw in the attraction?
So one thing that I really like about Exit 13 is the fact that every single year they have like a process where they tear down everything and they completely rebuild the attraction to have a different theme, different scenes and rooms and characters. So it's never the same every time that you go. But some of the scenes that I saw, there was this one doll room that was really cool, that was full of a bunch of really grimy, gross-looking dolls. There was some sort of funhouse-like scenes as well, where they had mirrors that would warp really tight corridors that you could go through, like gaps in the walls, secret doors you had to crawl through, moving bookshelves, that sort of thing.
Thank you. How old do you think the youngest scare you could see was?
I think they had a pretty diverse age range when I went there. I would say I think the youngest actor that I saw there seemed to be around 11 or 12, probably.
I see. On a scale of 1 through 10, how scary was it in the attraction?
I'd give it like a solid 8. It was pretty scary. It was a decent scare.
On a scale of 1 through 10, how scared were you in the attraction?
Probably like a 9 or a 10, just because, the actors inside can touch you, so when you go to a haunted house where the actors can't touch you, it's still scary, yeah, but you have that sense of like, okay, well, it's just a scare, like it's just an attraction, I don't have to worry about anything actually interacting with me physically, but when they can actually touch you, it's just kind of scary because sometimes they come out of nowhere and it can be genuinely horrifying.
How big of a group did you go with?
I went with some of my friends. I was in a group of about 3 or 4 people.
Did any of the people in your group end up getting carried to different places and split up with the other people of the group?
Yeah, actually, it was kind of a bit scary. I don't know where the other people went because some of the actors will come up to your group and they'll take some of the people in your group and they'll take them somewhere else. So I don't know where they went, but yeah, sometimes they do like to split up the groups, especially if you go in a bigger group. They want to individually get to you, so they do tend to split people up.
Do you know how big of a group that you could possibly go in with?
I don't know the maximum number of people that they'll allow in as a group, no.
Okay. What are some of the props you could see in the attraction?
Okay. So I touched a little bit on the doll room. They had a bunch of really grungy and nasty, dirty-looking dolls. There was this one guy that I remember who had a baseball bat that was kind of looked like Negan's baseball bat, Lucille from The Walking Dead. The baseball bat was wrapped in like barbed wire and nails. There was people that carried around paddles that they would like hit you with. Obviously there were things like strobe lights and things like that to create the atmosphere in some of the rooms. I'm trying to think because it's been like a little while since I've been there. There was also like photo ops outside of the building where you could go and you could take pictures with different like basic Halloween props, like fake weapons and things like that.
And so I've heard, like, outside of the attraction as you're waiting in line, aren't there scares that are waiting out there for you, like scaring you while you're walking around?
Oh yeah, there definitely are. That's something that I've seen in a lot of haunted houses that I've been to. I think the wait to get inside of the haunted house, I don't think that the wait and the price was worth the attraction. But it was still pretty nice. It was a really long wait outside of the building before we actually got in. We were waiting like 2 hours before we got to go in, and it was like $30 per person. But besides that, I think there definitely was people that were out there. One of my friends got chased across the parking lot by a clown that had a chainsaw. Actually, it was kind of funny to watch, but I would assume probably pretty terrifying to have that happen to you.
How old do you think the oldest scare was there?
Oh, so for the oldest,
Yes.
it's a bit difficult to really pinpoint a specific age. Because with the younger kids, you know, you can tell that they're a younger person because they're physically smaller.
And because they're, like, still growing and all that, yeah.
Yeah, but when you come to an adult, it's kind of difficult to pinpoint it, like I said, because the costumes were really well done. They didn't even look like real people, honestly. But I would say probably 30s or early 40s, something like that.
So they had a pretty good range group.
Yeah.
What were some of, like, the costumes that they had and some of, like, the face makeup that they had on?
Oh, okay. So, man, I'm trying to remember. So some of them had like masks that they were wearing, so that you couldn't see their faces at all. Some of them just had more like minimalistic makeup, and some of them had special effects makeup. So there was like, I remember the voodoo priestess she's the one that I remember the most. She was really grungy and like nasty looking. She didn't have a mask on or anything like that, but her makeup was done to make her look just dirty. And she really played up the character, like by making us kneel in front of her and things like that. But they also had like killer clowns. Like the clowns had masks on, obviously, and I'm assuming that the clowns were played by, like, older guys because they were physically very big, and very intimidating. And I remember there was this one guy, he didn't really have, like, a very intricate costume or anything, but he was super tall and skinny and lanky, and he was able to, like, squeeze down and, like, pretzel himself through a really, really tiny window opening. So I guess the point of explaining that would be, a lot of the characters, like, costumes per se, were really completed by the act that they put on. Even if they didn't look physically horrifying, the things that they could do were really freaky. So that definitely adds to the character overall.
So, as you were saying, like, what are some of the ways that you could, like, that they were scaring you, like, screaming and all that? What are some of the other ways that they were trying to scare you?
Okay, so, you know, obviously in a haunted house, or a haunted attraction, you're trying to make your way through it. So as you're walking through the different rooms and hallways and corridors and such, some of the actors were popping out from walls or running full speed at you, popping down from the ceilings. Some of them would have, like, huge weapons that they would run at you with, do the typical, like, intimidating scare thing. But others were just things that you look at and they unsettle you. You know, like that guy that I said that he could, like, pretzel his way through that seemingly way too tiny window. It's unsettling to look at that and to see that, you know. And I think the atmosphere definitely adds to it because there is some, like, aggressive rock music. There was stereotypically, like, creepy music to sort of set the scene. They would obviously, you know, physically touch you there, so they would, like, jab you with their fingers, or they would grab you and pull you around, shove you through holes in walls, make you crawl through tight spaces, pushing and shoving. They would hit you with a paddle. I mean, they didn't, like, hit you hard to hurt you, but they would, like, smack you with a paddle. They would, like, touch your face and, like, yeah, it was, yeah.
What are some of the, like, the things that, like, they would say to try to freak you out also?
It really depends on the character that they were playing because, you know, they're actors and they have to portray a certain character and they have different styles of scaring and, different personalities, obviously. So, like, the voodoo priestess, she made us kneel in front of her and was, like, calling us filthy maggots and things like that and degrading. Some of them, like, the big buff huge chainsaw dudes would be running around screaming threats at us. Some of the actors wouldn't specifically interact with you, but they would still be playing a character. Like, you would be put in a room with a woman who would be, like, hysterically crying about something and just setting a really disturbing scene. So definitely insults, just general hysteria, strange fascination with the guests, like, coming up to you and inspecting you and touching you and getting way too close and in your comfort zone.
Okay. That's all I have to ask you today, actually. So, thank you for being here on my podcast. So, that's all I have today, folks. And I would like to thank you all for listening to my podcast. I'm Brooklyn Schroeder, and I hope you have a good night or day.